The final looping construct that we're going to look at is one of the most powerful and one of the most used, and that is the for each loop. So that means we're going to go through and look at something for each number of an item, in particular in an array. That's what we're going to loop through. How can we use a for each loop in a real-world example? Well, let's actually preview our website. Let's preview our site as we have it right now. So we've got all these looping constructs. We've got all these numbers that are counting here. Let's go ahead and remove those, or at the very least, just comment those out. So we'll scroll down here and we will comment out our echo line. So we'll leave that, comment it out, go back and refresh. Looking at our left-hand sidebar here, you'll see we have the Twitter icon. So if we right-click on this and inspect our element here, we're actually going to see that the class is an icon and then Twitter in the class name. Well, let's take a look at our styles and see what we could do to change that, or maybe to add more. So we'll switch over, look in our CSS folder and look at the styles. I'm going to actually go down here, line 222. You'll see sidebar, social icon, Twitter. It's got the background position at 0, 0. If it was Facebook, it moves the background position of the image around. So it's actually using the social icon's image and simply moving the CSS position to give us a different icon. So if we were to go here and change this instead of Twitter to Facebook, then I'm going to save this and then go back to our preview and refresh. Now you'll see it's a Facebook icon. But we don't want to replace that. We want to add more than just Twitter. So we have Twitter, we have Facebook, maybe we have Google. So let's say we add those three. Well, instead of just manually coding them, we would actually use a for each loop here. So we would add one here on line 47, put this code inside of our loop, and then close it on line 49. But we would need something to loop and change. What we're going to change here is just this span class, just Facebook to Twitter, so on and so forth. Well, we need to loop through something, so we'll create ourselves an array. So let's create an array on line 24, and we're going to call it social icons. Now, that's going to be set equal to an array, and that array is going to be just a list of strings. So the first string is going to be Twitter. The second one will make Facebook. And then we'll make our third one, actually let's close that single quote, then we'll make our third one Google. Okay, the way that we're getting these names is we would look in our styles and see what they're called. So here's Twitter, Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, Instagram. We will add Instagram here in a minute. So let's switch back over to our index.php. We've got our social icons. Now we need to loop through those social icons and change the class name on our list tag or on our list item. So we'll start by using the for each looping construct. We define that by first opening up our PHP tags. So PHP, we'll go down, we'll actually close it down here. So question mark. Now we've closed it. So this is all inside of PHP. This we don't need to be in PHP. So we can either do that by using echo and then a string, or we can close it out after we've started our for loop. So let's actually just go ahead and close it out now. So we're going to actually close it on this line. This will be a string, and then we'll open up our PHP again to close the for each loop. Okay, so how do we do a for each loop? Well, we start with the keywords for each all together. Then open and close the parentheses, and then open up our curly brace, just like we've done before. Now anything inside of this for each loop here is going to run when this runs. Then to close it out, we simply use the same curly brace structure that we used in a for loop. So now our arguments. What are our arguments? Well, the first thing is for each what? So for each of our social icons. So social icons. And then we need to have it run, and for each of these, we're going to have it come up as a different variable through each pass of the loop. So it'll be for each social icons as, so we use the keyword as, and then a new variable, a local variable just for inside the for loop, and we'll call it icon. So if you notice in our naming convention here, I've done social icons, it's plural, as a singular icon, so just icon. Now we go into our for loop, and then we replace what we want with the PHP variable icon. So we'll open up our PHP tags again. Just like we've done before, we echo and then echo icon. Then we close our PHP tag, and then that's it. So now what this is going to do is it's going to come into line 48, and it's going to say for each social icon. So each social icons, well, what's in social icons? We have 3 separate strings. So we have Twitter, Facebook, and Google. So then it goes to the as keyword. The as keyword on line 48 says each social icons as icon. So icon is going to represent whatever the value is. So the value in this particular case is the string, which would be Twitter, Facebook, or Google. So then it jumps down to line 50, produces our list tag with the anchor in there and then the icon span, except we're changing the class. Instead of saying just icon Twitter, icon Facebook, we're going to loop through and print out Twitter, Facebook, and Google. Then we're going to close our loop on line 52, and that should do it. Let's save this and see what it looks like. Switch back over and refresh. So as you see here, we now have 3 icons. We have Twitter, Facebook, and Google. If we inspect the element here, you'll see that it's actually 3 separate list tags. So here's 1. Scroll down here. Now that one is Facebook, and this one is Google. So now we have Twitter, Facebook, and Google. Well, let's say you decide to get rid of Facebook. Let's say you want to replace Facebook with, Instagram. Well, that's easy to do. We just simply switch over to our code, go up to our social icons, and then change Facebook to whatever the class is. In this case, it is Instagram. So we'll go index and change it to Instagram. Save it, go back and refresh. So that's the power of the looping construct with for each and arrays. So we can just access the very simple, basic values of the array, loop through it, and do something with it. In this case, instead of just printing a number, we've actually printed a social icon and changed the class name. I think this is a good stopping point for us. As far as the basics go, you've learned quite a lot so far. Soon, I'll be back with you to discuss built-in and user-defined functions, includes, exceptions and error handling, and even more of the basics of PHP. Remember, work hard and have a little joy.